leaves trying to mend his ways and fight crime as a private detective. With the help of his lovely and talented companion, Trix O'Dare, a former vaudevillian, he travels the world protecting the innocent and bringing the guilty to justice.
And if he happens to line his pockets in the process, that doesn't hurt his feelings.
Oh, come on, Trix. The guy's gotta have a little fun.
Tonight's episode, The Curse of Anubis. But first, a word from our sponsor. Gentlemen, is your voice squeaky and unprofessional? Do you wish you had a suave, rugged voice like the dashing personalities you hear nightly on programs like this one, or in the talking pictures? Are you too shy or embarrassed to ask for that date or promotion? Well, your friends at the Capone Tobacco Company have heard your pleas. What if I told you that developing a more commanding, confident voice was as easy as switching cigarette brands? Well, I am. Join the family and search for the name you already trust for everything from their industry-leading lead shaving razors to reasonably sturdy airplanes. Capone brand cigarettes are double roasted to ensure you achieve a more sultry voice without even trying. Just ask this radio personality the secret to his success. The Capone Tobacco Company and all of its affiliates have no connection to and denounce all actions taken by Al Capone. We now bring you to the dark, lonely study of Dr. Muhammad Ahmet, curator of the Cairo Museum of Antiquities.
Yes, I must just translate this final hieroglyph to break the cipher. Now let's see. He who would enter the tomb of the queen will feed the hunger of the dog-faced god. What? Oh no. Get me Miss Isis Forsyth and hurry. Miss Forsyth, it's Dr. Ahmet. I need to speak to you right away. Yes, it's about the inscription on the necklace. I can't talk about it over the phone. I've got to see you. I'm at my office at the museum. You're just around the corner? Yes, please come right over. Dear, oh dear, the hunger of the dog-faced god. Why, that can only mean one thing. What was that? What? No! No!
A few days later, two figures alight from the first-class coach of the train from Paris and hail a cab that takes them to the Hotel Monolith on the outskirts of Cairo.
Jimmy, this is swank. Look at this hotel. It's like a palace.
What'd I tell you, kid? We're riding in style on this one.
Say, how do you know this Anthony Forsyth character anyway?
I pulled a job for him a couple of years back.
Oh?
Yeah, I liberated a certain item he desired from a man then in possession of it. A little statuette. Some kind of goddess. Guy's got a thing for ancient artifacts, and he has enough money to get what he wants by legal means. Usually.
Jimmy, you said we were here to investigate a crime, not commit one.
We are, baby, we are. You saw the telegram.
Yeah, I got it right here. Need your help at once. Stop. Daughter in danger. Stop. Take next train. Stop. Expenses will be paid. Stop.
See? His daughter's in trouble and he wants me to clear it up. Everything's honest and on the level.
If everything's so honest, why'd he call you?
An excellent question, young lady. Perhaps one I can answer.
Ah, Mr. Forsyth.
Hello, Walker. Good to see you again.
Pleasure's all mine, sir. Oh, and may I present Miss Trix O'Dare.
Mr. Forsyth?
A pleasure, Miss O'Dare. And now, if I may answer your question.
Please do.
Walker, I need help. Preferably the help of a resourceful, energetic type who can get things done and keep quiet about it later. Naturally, you came to mind.
Naturally.
What seems to be the trouble, Mr. Forsyth?
It has to do with my daughter Isis.
Oh, how is the little wildcat?
Wildcat?
Not well, I'm afraid. Ever since her divorce, Isis has been at sea. It seems like she just goes from one thing to another looking for something to hold on to. Hey, lately, it's been this spiritualism nonsense.
She's been trying to communicate with the dead?
Yes, and she's fallen prey to every hustler and con artist in the Orient, and usually ends up with some lowlife that's no good for her.
Well, we've all been there.
I thought when she started seeing young Attenbury, it would bring some stability to her life.
Attenbury?
Oh, yes, Daniel Attenbury, bright young man. He's been working on this latest project of mine. We're digging for the tomb of Nefertiti, the wife of Akhenaten, a queen famed for her beauty and power. Young Attenbury was the lead archaeologist on the dig.
So she was seeing him, but they broke it off?
If only it were that simple. The young fellow's up and disappeared day before yesterday. No one has the faintest idea where he might be, and the police suspect ISIS has something to do with it. And with it happening so soon after the murder...
Murder?
Yes, murder. Dr. Ahmed, curator of the Cairo Museum of Antiquities, found murdered in his study with my daughter, standing over the body like one in a trance. His throat had been torn open.
I don't think I like the sound of this.
Suspicion has fallen on ISIS. She can't give a good account of herself. She claimed that Dr. Ahmed had been translating an inscription on a necklace she always wears, and that he had called her to come over that night. When she got there, he was dead.
She certainly has luck with men.
Walker, I'm counting on you to clear this up by any means necessary. I am placing my daughter completely in your hands.
Oh, I definitely don't like the sound of this.
I'll take the case, Mr. Forsyth.
Good. In half an hour, we'll be having dinner in my suite in the hotel. My daughter and that medium of hers, Madame Sonia, will be there.
All right.
Oh, and I guess I'd better invite that Conway fellow.
Who's that?
Oh, he's the British agent with the Cairo police who's handling the case. He's been snooping around lately. Might as well invite him. He's bound to turn up anyway.
Well, we'll be sure to be there, Mr. Forsyth.
Good. I will see you shortly. Goodbye, Miss O'Dare.
Goodbye.
Well, satisfied?
With what?
I told you that we were here to investigate.
Maybe, but I don't trust that Forsyth character. What did he mean by clear this up by any means necessary?
Oh, he's just concerned about his daughter.
Yeah, the gay divorcee. Half an hour till dinner, huh? Well, that'll give you just enough time to explain this wildcat business.
Oh, Trix.
Later that evening at the Hotel Monolith.
Private suite, huh? Good grief, Forsyth has this whole wing of the hotel to himself, complete with a courtyard and a fountain. Jimmy, how much is this guy worth?
I'm not sure either of us can count that high.
You know, I was just chatting with one of the staff, and she said that there was a temple once on the very spot where the hotel is now. And the part of the building was actually constructed using the ruined walls of the original structure. Pretty amazing, huh?
You know what I think is amazing? This view. Moonlight over the desert, a warm breeze, the Nile shimmering under the stars. Kinda romantic, don't you think, Trix?
Yes, Jimmy. On a night like tonight, all a girl needs is a strong, handsome man to hold her close. Let me know if you come across one, huh?
Cute. Oh, here's Forsyth and his daughter now.
Hello, Walker. Miss O'Dare.
Oh, James, darling, thank goodness you're here. It's been such a nightmare. I feel as if death is all around me and I just don't know what to do.
Well, you could try not calling him darling. That might help you live through the night.
What?
Oh, Isis dear, you two haven't met. This is Miss Trix O'Dare, a friend of mine.
Oh, of course. How do you do?
Pleasure to meet you. Any friend of Jimmy's is a friend of mine.
I'm sure. But James, darling, with Daniel gone, I just don't know where to turn. He was my rock, my shelter from the storm. Without him, I'm just so helpless. All I have left is his beautiful gift to me.
Ah, yes, this charming necklace. May I see it, dear?
Oh, of course, James. I never take it off. Poor Dr. Amet. The police think it was this inscription that got him killed. That someone wanted to keep it a secret. But I know what really happened.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I'm saying, James. The police are fools. I didn't kill Dr. Amet, and neither did any other human being. Anubis did it.
What?
It was the curse. The curse of the tomb. Daniel said as much. Poor Daniel. He did not believe. Now Anubis, the god with the head of a jackal, has taken him from me and left me to despair.
Laying it on a little thick, aren't we?
Come, my dear. You're letting all this fortune teller nonsense go to your head. There is no curse.
You call it nonsense, Father? Is it nonsense that 2 men are dead? All because of your greed for treasure? If you had not insisted on discovering the tomb of Nefertiti, none of this would have happened. And for what? To fill your coffers? How many others will die before you have to give up this sacrilegious hunt?
I have a permit from the Egyptian government to excavate, and an agreement with the Cairo Museum of Antiquities as to where the artifacts will go once they are uncovered, and whose property they will be. I am not a treasure hunter, and this curse business is nonsense.
Then where's Daniel? And why is Dr. Amet dead? Remember, Father, we found the translation among Dr. Amet's papers. The hieroglyphs on this necklace read, "He who entered the tomb of the queen will feed the hunger of the dog-faced god." What mortal being could benefit from keeping that being kept a secret? Why did Dr. Amet have to die, except that he had a hand in your selfish aims?
Dr. Amet could have been involved in any number of things that could have led to his murder. And as for Daniel, there could be any number of explanations for that, too.
I can think of one reason he might skip out.
Quiet, you.
Isis, I have tried to humor you, but I will not put up with this fortune-teller hogwash much longer.
Madame Sonia is my only solace in this vale of tears. Tonight she has promised to help me commune with the spirit of my poor beloved Daniel.
A seance, huh? Isis, would you mind if my friend and I sit in?
Oh, I wish you would, James. You're so strong, so brave. I feel safer just being close to you.
Well, I'm glad to help in any way I can. You go on, dear. I'll follow in a moment.
Don't be long, James. I feel so lost without you.
Come, Isis.
Why, of all the two-timing, double-crossing...
Hey, if you're not going to talk about the moonlight with me, but we don't have time for this. What do you know about spiritualism?
Only that phony medium acts are a dime a dozen on the vaudeville circuit. So many of them, you can hardly make any money on it. My Uncle Herman had one in Toledo.
Any trick to them?
Only about 1,000. It's all smoke and mirrors, Jimmy, like anything else. Nobody can talk to the dead.
You sure about that, Trix?
Oh, don't be funny. It's a lot of snake oil, like the old man says. It's meant to fleece the lonely and bereaved. It's the worst kind of scam.
This, your first time in the Orient, kid?
Well, yeah, why?
Well, it's not my first time, and I've seen plenty of things to make me think that it's not all just smoke and mirrors. And the longer that you stay here, the more that you're going to come to agree with me.
Jimmy, honey, you've been out in the sun too long.
I'm inclined to agree.
Gee, and I thought we were alone.
Pardon the intrusion, Miss O'Dare, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and I thought I'd best come and introduce myself.
How do you know my...
Your name? Indeed, I know a great deal about you both. Miss Trix O'Dare, former vaudevillian, born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, real name Beatrice O'Dorello. 2 arrests, both for having no visible means of support, no convictions.
You sound like a cop, honey.
Well, that's because he is.
No kidding.
Quite right. Major Reginald Brighton Conway, Her Majesty's Military Police, agent of the Crown abroad. And you are James Campion Walker III, better known to some as Jimmy the Ghost. History's a little fuzzy, but it's believed you originated in New York. No arrests, but suspected in at least a dozen heists in America, Europe, and points east. Shocking lack of evidence, sadly. Perhaps you don't remember, but we've met before.
Have we?
Yes, at a dinner party in East Hampshire. The home of the Lord and Lady Bracknell. Or perhaps I should say we almost met. Just a chance encounter in the hallway. I caught a back view of someone leaping from the terrace the evening Lady Bracknell's diamonds were stolen. Curious thing for a chap to be doing, don't you think?
Yes. Very odd.
Isn't it? Anyway, I'm certain it was you.
Well, I don't see how it could have been. It's a well-documented fact by the East Hampshire police and others that I was all the way in London when that transaction occurred and couldn't possibly have made an appearance.
Yes, so I've heard.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Whoever pulled that job sure knew what he was doing. That guy had style.
Oh, I have no doubt. I should like very much to find that man someday, and I assure you, Mr. Walker, someday I will. See you at dinner, Miss O'Dare, if you'll excuse me.
Did it suddenly get cold out here?
Cool, crisp breeze from the north. Those Brits, wherever they go, they take England with them.
Jimmy, let's scram.
What?
Please, honey, people being murdered by gods is one thing, but a limey flatfoot breathing down our necks is quite another. Besides, I thought we were in this together.
What makes you think that we're not?
How come this Conway guy knows things about you that I don't?
And now, Trix.
You stole the Bracknell diamonds?
Your first name is Beatrice?
Walker, Miss O'Dare, we're holding things up for you.
Sorry, we're coming. Listen, let's head down and keep your eyes open. Looks like we're having dinner in some kind of a cave.
Not a cave, Jimmy. I'll bet this is the part of the hotel where that temple I was telling you about was. According to the porter, it was all part of the same complex where the tomb of Nefertiti was supposed to be located.
If this is all common knowledge, how is it nobody had found the tomb yet?
Who knows? Apparently it's very well hidden. Every time Forsyth's excavation team seems to get close, they run into a blank wall. Literally.
Oh, here we are.
A great spot for a seance. My Uncle Herman would be jealous. Look at all the carvings on the walls. What are they called again?
Hieroglyphs. It's writing with pictures. All these carvings are actually a text of some kind.
Funny. All the carvings are basically flat against the wall. Two-dimensional. Except that one over there. It's more lifelike and comes out of the center of the wall. Kind of looks like a dog's head, doesn't it?
Please, everyone, take your places. Madame Sonia is about to start. James, darling, you sit here next to me.
With pleasure.
Miss O'Dare can sit next to Major Conway.
Oh, goody.
And you sit at the head, Father, across from Madame Sonia.
Good evening. Come all and sit down. Let us lay our hands speak. Is the spirit of Daniel Attenbury with us tonight?
Daniel! Oh, my beloved Daniel!
Daniel, is there someone here who is dear to you? Is there some message you wish to give to someone here? Then come and enter into me and speak to her through my voice. Isis, my precious Isis, how lonely I have been for you.
Daniel!
You must not weep for me any longer, Isis. You must find another.
Oh, Daniel!
Ask him what happened to him.
What happened, Daniel? Who took you from me?
Oh, the god! The god with the head of a dog!
I was right. It was the curse. The curse is real.
My precious Isis, you must not stay here. There is danger. The curse! The curse!
What was that?
I thought the spirits were rattling a chain tonight.
What the devil?
Jimmy, the lights!
Isis! Isis!
Where's the light switch?
There isn't one. We're in a bloody ruin. Just a battery-powered torch hung from the ceiling, and now it's falling. Ah, here it is. I don't think it's broken. Ah, there we are. Oh, sorry, old boy. Had I known, I would have left the lights off.
Jimmy.
Good heavens, Isis.
She's all right. She's just fainted. Somebody get some water.
Here, there's some on the table.
James?
Isis, darling, are you all right?
Oh, it was horrible.
What happened?
Horrible!
What happened?
Well, after the lights went out, I felt a hand. It reached for my throat.
Good God.
It was Anubis. That was the banging we heard. He was coming for me. I will be the next to die.
It is true.
Madame Forsyth must leave this place at once or suffer a horrible fate.
It was the last thing Daniel whispered to my soul before he left me. The god's presence frightened him away.
Oh, James, I can't stand it here. Please take me back to my room.
Yes, dear. I think everyone should head back to the hotel. Madam Sonia, will you please stay with Isis?
James, aren't you?
I'll join you shortly. I just want to take a look around.
Come, Isis. Madam Sonia.
I am coming. Be careful, Mr. Walker. There is great evil here and greater danger.
Mind if I tag along with you, Walker?
Well, what happens if I say no?
The same thing that happens if you say yes.
Well, then by all means, please, stay.
Jimmy, come here.
What you got, baby?
Look at this chain on the table and tell me what you see.
Well, looks like it has a couple of short strings tied to it.
Too short to be much use moving it, if that's what you're thinking, Miss O'Dare.
Would be too short, only they ain't string. See?
Wow, what do you know?
Rubber cord can stretch 10 times its original length. Easily enough to stretch under the table and onto the floor. Run your hand along the table.
There are two small holes burrowed into it.
Yep, it's too dark to see them in here if you're not looking. She stretched the cord through the holes under the table and probably wedged them under the legs of her chair. Made sure they were tight enough for her to work them with her feet. When the trick was done, she just chipped her chair back, let the cord snap back to their original length. Just a few pieces of string tied to a chain. Nothing too suspicious in that. Oldest trick in the book.
Any idea who put the light out?
The lamp was hanging above the table by a rope that was tied to a hook by the door. Any one of us could have loosened it when we came in. Only a question of time before it fell.
Oh, Joe!
Baby, you're a bloodhound.
Yeah, and speaking of bloodhounds, I got a bone to pick with you. Mooning over that wilting flower like some Harvard Romeo.
Hey, let's not try to lose focus here. You got anything else?
Isn't that enough?
How about that banging noise we heard?
Well, my Uncle Herman used to have Aunt Camille hit the basement ceiling with a broom handle to get that effect.
Uncle Herman?
A long story. Conway, this room, it's part of the excavations, right?
Yes, it was discovered the addition was being built to the hotel. That was what started the hunt for the tomb in the first place. Forsyth is part owner in the hotel. Young Attenbury seemed to think this room was significant, but he disappeared before he can find anything out.
Did he? Oh, maybe he knew more than we realize. Perhaps this little trinket can illuminate things.
Miss Forsyth's necklace, you nicked it!
Oh, well, all for good cause. She said that someone reached for her throat. Well, it had to be this that they were after. What did Isis say the inscription was?
He who would enter the tomb of the queen will feed the hunger of the dog-faced god.
Yeesh, these ancient Egyptians didn't mess around when it came to this curse business.
They would have been very particular about not having their graves disturbed.
Oh?
Yes, they would have been buried with their earthly wealth, which they believed they could continue to enjoy in the afterlife.
Hear that, Jimmy? You can't take it with you.
Well, this is interesting.
What is?
The marking above the dog's head carvings you noticed earlier matches the one on the necklace.
So funny that being the only thing in here with any depth to it. Gives me the creeps, really. Does that thing look hungry to you?
Hungry? That's it.
What's it?
Stand back, you two. I'm going to try something, and I'm not sure how it'll play out.
What are you doing?
I'm feeding the hunger of the dog-faced god.
The necklace.
It's a perfect fit.
Jimmy, the wall's moving.
You mean the door's moving with the dog's head locked? That necklace was the key. Just had to slip it into its mouth.
Jimmy, look.
Great Scott, it's Attenbury!
Water! Please, water!
Hang tight, pal. Hey, Trix, there's a pitcher on the table.
Got it, Jimmy.
Easy, fella. Drink this.
Oh, the poor kid.
Must have been down here for 2 days.
That explains where the banging noise came from. He probably heard Madame Sonia yelling through the walls and tried to get our attention.
Good heavens, Miss O'Dare, hold up the light!
Holy Morocco.
Treasure of Nefertiti.
Enough here to keep a person warm for a long time.
Enough here to kill for, it would seem.
I quite agree, Walker.
Watch it, he's got a gun.
Please don't come any closer. Miss O'Dare, gentlemen, be so kind as to take a few steps back farther into the tomb. Oh, come, it would take so little to shoot you. That's better. Now I suppose you feel I owe you some sort of explanation.
You think so? I think it's pretty obvious what happened here.
Oh, do you?
Care to enlighten the rest of us, Jimmy?
With pleasure. Forsyth here is broke. He's been living beyond his means and backing failed archaeology projects for a decade now, and it's taken his toll. He needed to score big with this dig, and he would have if it wasn't for one hitch. The dig was too public. It had been discovered while an addition was being built onto the hotel. Everyone knew about it, and the Egyptian authorities had descended on him, determined that this time at least, the artifacts would stay in Egypt and be kept in a museum where they belonged. He wouldn't be able to grave rob the way he had in the past and the way he so desperately needed to now. But he was smart about it. He played along, got all the right permits, and he signed a nice agreement with Dr. Amit, promising to turn over all the artifacts he found to the Museum of Antiquities. But the agreement was only good if artifacts were found. Most of these tombs were robbed centuries ago, and if he kept the discovery of the actual tomb hushed up, he could keep what he found for himself and present the museum with an empty room. He probably figured he had it made when the Attenbury kid fell for ISIS. No doubt he can convince him to play along and split the take with his soon-to-be father-in-law. But his plans started to backfire. Attenbury was so love-struck that he gave Isis the necklace, which was the literal key to the whole thing, and she showed it to Dr. Amit. Dr. Amit translated it, saw it for what it was, not a curse, but a clue as to how the tomb could be entered. He probably realized that Forsyth was up to something, but Forsyth didn't give him a chance to act on his hunch. When the old man realized his daughter had given Amit the necklace, he went to the museum and he killed it, using the curse as a cover. How am I doing so far?
Not bad. Continue.
After the murder, Attenbury got spooked, and he threatened to expose the whole works. One or the other of you figured out how the locking mechanism worked, and so you knocked him out and you dumped him in here. You probably swiped the necklace from your daughter's room and you returned it after you disposed of her boyfriend. But the only thing was, after Attenbury's disappearance, Isis became obsessed with the gift that he had given her, and she refused to take it off. And you've never won a fight with her in your life. You had no excuse to borrow the thing, and encouraging her to forget Daniel would only make her cling to his memory more. And that's when you hit on the bright idea of calling me.
Yeah, Jimmy. If he did it, why call a detective?
Well, because he wasn't thinking of me as a detective. He needed a replacement for Daniel in Isis's life. He knew that we'd had a thing for each other back when I'd worked for him before, and he figured we'd pick up right where we left off. And eventually, I'd get her to take off that necklace.
Along with everything else she happened to be wearing.
I've been cozying up to Isis since we got here, and while there have been objections, they haven't come from her father.
And here I thought Forsyth was just liberal-minded.
Well, I did what you wanted, Forsyth. I got the necklace away from her, but just not in the way that you had planned.
Yes, but it will all work out the way I had hoped. Once I pull the necklace out of the carving's mouth, the door will slide back into place. When I come back, in a few weeks, to collect the treasure, you will all still be here. In body, if not in spirit.
Jimmy, I got a question.
You'll never get away with this, Forsyth.
What is it, Trix?
Why not? This method I've developed has worked once already.
How's your pitching arm?
Not bad. Why?
Goodbye, Major. Miss O'Dare.
Because our friend here is about to see the light in 3?
Oh, Walker. I'm sure Isis will make some attempt to communicate with you. Be a good chap and rattle a chain for her sometime, won't you?
2?
Enjoy your newfound wealth. You will not have it long.
Now, Jimmy!
Ah, my eyes! Oh!
Major, run! You got it, Major!
Look out, the gun!
Hold him up, Major!
Oh!
That'll put him to sleep for a while.
Miss O'Dare, the necklace!
I got it!
And put it back in the slot!
Well, that was a bit closer than I like him.
That was good thinking, Miss O'Dare, shining the light in his face so Walker could get the drop on him with that stone.
Good work, baby.
Oh, it was nothing.
What's going on down there? Mr. Forsyth, is everything all right? Was that a shot?
We have 2 men down here in need of medical attention. One is in custody. One of you run and get a policeman and a doctor.
Right away, Major.
Jimmy, honey, that shot, are you all right? He didn't hurt you, did he?
I don't think I'll ever recover.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm deeply wounded. That you think that I could come on to another girl when you're around.
Well, that's true. You do usually wait till I'm out of the room.
Please don't remind me.
I suppose you'll be making an official report to the Egyptian police?
And the British consulate. Why?
Any way you can keep us out of it?
You've got something to hide.
No, but I'd rather stay off the map if I can. Come on, Major. I've done all right on this job, haven't I?
I hate to admit, but you have. Then again, I was here to watch. I imagine Forsyth would have offered you a cut if I was absent. I wonder how you would have behaved if he had.
And I guess you'll always have to wonder about that.
Perhaps. For now, I can live with taking the credit for this arrest myself.
Works out for everyone.
Indeed. Now, if you will be so kind as to stay and watch over Attenbury and our friend here, I'll see what's holding things up.
Agreed.
Oh, and if I somehow lose track of you after the police arrived, let me just say it's nice to meet you, face to face.
Why, thank you, Major.
And it was certainly a pleasure to meet you, Miss O'Dare, from any angle.
Why, Major, you'll make me blush.
Goodbye, friends, until we meet again.
Well, how do you like that?
He suits me, so long as we can give him the slip.
Are you sure that's what we're doing, Jimmy? I have a feeling he's going to be tough to shake.
Maybe. But I love a good chase, don't you? And besides, if he gets too nosy, we'll just remind him that 3's a crowd.
This has been a Mechanical Theater production. Stay tuned for another exciting Walker and O'Dare mystery. But first, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for. We will now select 2 people from our studio audience to participate in the trivia challenge and test their knowledge of current events in recent history. So for those of you who are listening at home, she has in her hands a hat that is filled with the names of all the people in our studio audience, and she will make the selection of who will come up.
And the contestants are Karen Cantor and Schwartz. No, that's fine.
So we have a pass. We're going to choose a 3rd contestant.
How about Stephen Narkins?
Stephen Harkins
Harkins.
and Karen.
And Karen Cantor.
Karen Cantor. All right, come on up. All right. So after the question is read, the first of you to ring this bell will be given the chance to answer it, and you'll have 5 seconds to do so. There are 3 questions, and whoever answers the most correctly wins the secret prize. So we will begin, of course, with question number 1.
This songwriter, pianist, and Cotton Club bandleader was born in Washington, D.C. and recently released the hit tune, If It Ain't Got That Swing.
I'll leave it to you.
Count Basie? It is not Count Basie. Do you have a...
Count Basie.
We have 2 guesses for Count Basie, both of which are incorrect. The answer is actually Duke Ellington. All right, and now the next question.
In 1930, this man led a 200-mile march to the sea to make salt as a peaceful protest of unfair government practices, and was named Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
Stephen?
Mahatma Gandhi.
That is correct. So Stephen won. And now our final
was Manfred Albrecht Freiherr von Richthofen. This flying ace of the Great War was better known today as this.
The Red Baron?
That is correct.